Welcome back, data leaders, to Insight Builder. We have seen the introduction of Glue Catalog in the earlier video. If you have not watched that video, I have put a tag of that in this video. You can take a look at that. And please understand the basics of big data and how Glue Catalog is related with that, and what Glue Catalog problem solves is very important. Please go through these 2 points from the earlier video. And now we are going to dive deeply into creating databases, tables, and writing files at the same time writing the table name using AWS Wrangler. Let us go to the GitHub repo where we can get the files. If you go to the GitHub repo here, you will get the files where you will find the Jupyter books. You can download this repo to your local folder, and from this folder you will be able to create the Jupyter notebook servers. I have explained how to create Jupyter notebook servers in a couple of videos. I will be tagging that in this video. Kindly watch that. You will understand how to open Jupyter server like I am showing right now and use it for executing the Python commands. Let us begin by going to this file, writing files into S3 with Glue. The process will be as usual the same. We will initiate by creating a Boto3 session by having our credentials files. The basic session establishment process, I have explained it in first 2 or 3 videos. I will be tagging those videos also in this video, as we are going very much close to making the S3 as our own data warehouse. Literally, it can be, once you understand Glue Catalog and next Athena, you will exactly know how to use S3 like as if it is your own hard disk that is in your data center or in on your table top. That will be the level of understanding that we are targeting for. Let's begin by importing all the necessary Python libraries like AWS Wrangler, Boto3. I am executing it right now and it is importing. I'll be next executing these 4 commands so that my session will get created. The session has got created already. The destination folder or the destination bucket name will be destination folder. After that, the source data that I'm going to load into the destination bucket is called as top_earners_list.csv. If you are not aware where this file is, how this file came into picture, I can just show you that if you use ls on this and if you look at the source folder, you will see that there are all this text file already provided to you. This file is already there in the GitHub repo that I had shared in the source folder, this source folder, and you will see the file here. And if you look at the Jupyter notebooks also, if you click on the source folder, you will see the file here. The same file is getting shown here also, but we are using the Linux command list ls here to list the files inside the source folder. That is a brief about where to find the data. Now we are reading the data as pandas data frame. So the data frame has been created. Next, we are going to read the one more additional test file I have provided. It is called earners_jets. The jets that are owned by the people of the table number 1. So earners_csv are the people with their earnings and their email IDs, and earners_jets contains the data of the personal jets that people have. These 2 tables are linked by the ID. We will later understand how these IDs, how these tables are going to be linked once we start querying the data using Athena. That will be the next video where I will introduce Athena and then explain how to query using AWS Wrangler. Again, we are going to use AWS Wrangler and Python for doing all this. And we will be working with extensively with pandas data frame type of objects. Now we are going to start the journey of using Glue Catalog from AWS Wrangler on Python program. First and foremost, you need to check what are the databases that is already available in your AWS account Glue Catalog. In my AWS account Glue Catalog, I have default database, I have local HiveDB, and I have YouTube data. How to verify that this is what the databases are there in my AWS account? It's very simple. You go and check your AWS web console like this and click on AWS Glue. And once you go there, you will see there is a database link. Click that database link. And there you will find that these three databases already available. So default, local HiveDB, and YouTube data. That is what it is listing here. So you can see right then and there that by using wr.catalog, catalog here is Glue Catalog, .database, we are getting all the necessary information about the Glue Catalog databases. Before we go further, we have to understand that Glue wr.catalog is basically a module that has been written inside AWS Wrangler, which can talk with Glue Catalog. So this module has many methods. Out of that, one of the methods is database. In order to see what parameters or arguments this database method carries, you have to, before I will take a step back, I will show that if you create if you type wr.catalog.database, open and close bracket, and press Shift Tab inside the brackets, you will see that it will tell what are the parameters you need to give. So the parameters that we need to give is the limit, the catalog ID, and Boto session, Boto3_session. All are optional. When we are working from external environment, like the Jupyter notebook that we are using right now, it is an external environment from AWS Web Console. It is external to that. That's why we need to give the Boto3 session. Without that, it will throw an error. So if you want to try, you can try that. I have already explained it in a couple of other videos also. If you don't give the Boto3 session, it will give a no credentials error. Once you give the Boto3 session like this, and if you give the your session, it will list the databases. Now comes the next step. We have to list what are the tables available in the database. In your case, most probably you will have the default database. So try to list what is there in the default database first. You will see that there will be either one table or there may not be any tables at all. It is okay. If there is no any error, it is well and good. In my case, I have already a database called as YouTube data. So what I do, if I execute this, you will see I have three tables under the YouTube data database. And if I go and verify it in my console, you will see that I will have three tables here. You see the tables here? That three tables is what the Jupyter Notebook session is also showing. Next is what we are going to do. Create database. We will be using create database method of AWS Wrangler. Before I use the existing commands, I will show what are the parameters in the create database. Create database command uses name as an argument, description. If you want to give any description for the database, you can do that. You can give a catalog ID. It's not required actually, it's an optional. If exists, okay. There are times when there could be the same database name. So you might want to override that. So this is what it says about exist, okay. And then you have Boto session. Out of this, may and Boto3 session are primarily required. Without that, the method will not work. The command will not work. So if I have this method, now if I execute this, it will create a database called loading underscore file. How to ensure that my database has been created? Again, I use wr catalog dot, we go up a bit, you see databases method, we use the same databases method here. We send in the session, that is very important. Without that, it will not work. Your session, it is giving a value error. This happens when you don't give the appropriate argument name. All the functions and methods in AWS Wrangler is linked in such a way that, written in such a way that you need to give the variable or the argument parameter name. This is called as a parameter. This parameter name for all the values that you are providing, or else it will throw error. Now, once I give boto session underscore 3 equal to boto 3 underscore session equal to your session, you will see that I have loading underscore file database. And if you even go to, if you want to check it here also, you will see that the database file has been, the database has been created, loading underscore file. It was created on today. And the time will be different. If you see, the time is not the local time that you are looking at. This is the time that the AWS console is working at. So that will be entirely different from what your time is working on. Let us continue further. Let us see what are the tables. We will first list what are the tables inside the database. At this moment, we don't have any table. We have the database clean. So if you come and look into our loading underscore file database, there will be no tables. In order to create the tables, you can use, as I was explaining in the earlier videos, you can use add table or you can use add tables using crawler. Both the ways you can use. We are not going to touch any of these things. We are going to come back to our Python, Jupyter Notebook session. In this Jupyter Notebook session, what we are going to do is, we are going to write the earners underscore CSV. The earners underscore CSV is the data frame that we read. Earners underscore CSV is the data frame. So we are going to write it as a CSV file. First thing is, we are going to write it as a CSV file. This command, if you have seen my earlier videos, I have shown this command to write the data frame as CSV file. In addition to that, we will be adding database equal to loading file. That is the database name that we created. And second, we will add the parameter table. Table is top learners underscore CSV. There is a spelling mistake here. So top earners underscore CSV. And this parameter is important. We have to make sure that we give data set equal to true. What this parameter does is, it informs to AWS execution environment that whatever file I am writing using this command will be a data set, and this data set has to be written as a table to Glue Catalog also. This is what this command tells to the AWS execution environment. AWS execution environment is this entire session that we are the AWS console that we are having is the execution environment. There are lots of compute power and lots of services and resources in this console. To those console, we are telling that this is a this file earners underscore CSV data frame is going to be a data set, and we execute this command. Once we execute this command, what will happen is, it will first of all write it to the destination folder CSV write top earners.csv. At the same time, if you go and see what is there, if you list the objects by using w3s3 list underscore objects, we can actually list that we have written the write top earners.csv. And if you see that my CSV file name is gibberish, it's purely number. This is because when I give the data set equal to true, the file becomes a big data. Once I tell it is a data set, and if I tell that I need to write it as a table, AWS execution environment considers the data frame as big data and gives its own name. In future videos, once the basics has been completed, I'll be explaining how this big data concept impacts the files. That will be very important. In the future, I will be taking it up. Now we have written our first file. So let us check what are the tables available. If you check the tables available, we see that we have top earners underscore CSV table here. You go back to AWS Glue console, you give a refresh command here. If you click on this refresh button, you will see that yes, we have the table here. We have the reference location also. All these things has been done by executing this command. By executing this command, all these things have happened. If you want to further understand what is there inside the table, which is very important, you will see that this table is a big data related table because the input format is again Hadoop MapRead, output format is Hadoop HiveQL, and the compression method of writing method of the file is called as serialization deserialization concept. If you don't understand any of these things, it's fine. What you have to understand is that the format has to be in this way. Then only the appropriate table has been created, or else there is some mistake. Usually such an error will not happen, but knowing this is very important. Once you come down, there is two ways to look at the schema. You can check the schema here, or the better way is to click on actions and you can see edit schema. If you go to edit schema, you will see the various column names and the data types. All this has been written by using the data that we created from the data frame. You see ID, name, email, salary, occupation. This all was taken and this table was created. ID, name, email, salary, and occupation. This index has been created because by default, whenever you are writing the file, this index gets created. We can avoid that also, but I have used a raw method. I have not changed any of the parameters. So you see the index also. First file has been written. Now let us go back to Jupyter Notebook. Next, we are going to write the another data frame. The another data frame is going to be, before going to another data frame, we will see what will happen if we write the JSON file. We have written the CSV file, we are going to write the JSON file. The data frame is going to be same. We are going to use, instead of 2 CSV, we are going to use 2 JSON. It will be data set will be equal to true. Table will be top learners JSON. Okay, top earners JSON. And database will be loading file. And we execute this. We execute this and we see that the file is getting written, and at the same time, if you check the Glue Catalog tables, you will see the tables top earners JSON has been created. And you go back here and you check the tables, you will see that top earners JSON table is also created. Top earners JSON table. Click on this top earners JSON table, you will see that the top earners JSON table, and if you look at this, you will see the serialization concept is different. Here it is coming as JSON serday. Serday is serialization, deserialization. This is the way it tells to internal central processing unit that the file is JSON file. This is how it informs. This is how the Glue Catalog informs. If you want to further understand how the table is exactly written, you can actually click on edit table. If you click on edit table, you will see the input output format and the serialization library that is being used. All these are basic big data concepts which has been completely abstracted away from our eyes. You don't need to know any of these things, and you have to just use the service, AWS service, you will be able to do all the big data work. The reason for understanding all these things is to make your life much more easier and much more productive when it comes to using AWS services. That is the main intention of going and explaining all these things in detail. Let me continue with the remaining steps. We are going to write the Parquet file. By using two Parquet, the parameters are same. There is not much of a difference. The Parquet file is written, and if I list the objects, you will see the Parquet file also lists here. The Parquet file has been written, and you come and look at the catalog tables list. There will be an additional table called top earner.parquet. You can go back, refresh the list of tables. You will see the top earners Parquet come here. Click on that. You can go and check the edit table. You will see, yeah, you will see the name is different, and the serialization, derealization also is different. This is how we can create the table in the Glue Catalog itself as we are using the AWS Wrangler. We have covered all the important activity of writing the data frame to S3. Along with that, we are creating the tables on Glue Catalog also. Okay, we have done all the activity now. The most important activity in AWS, the S3 buckets have a limit of 5 GB if you are in free tier. After that, it will start charging you for the storage. So always clean up. Once you are done with your experiment, once you are done with the tutorials, clean up. So first thing we are going to do is I'm going to delete the database. Whatever I have done till now, whatever I have explained to you, like just to recap, by creating the database called loading file, we have created it, and we created the tables by writing the files as CSV, as JSON, and then we wrote it as Parquet. We created 3 tables in Glue Catalog, and all those things will be deleted once I execute this command. In order to recheck that, you come here, you come and check the database. You will see that there is no more database that we created. There is no more loading_file database that we created. That's how we do the things in a very efficient fashion. Once you have ensured that there is no any database, next thing is we are going to delete the files in the S3 bucket, because we don't want these files also to be present. So we delete that, and we then check whether the files are there. You come and check it here. The files are empty. If you want to verify that, you can go back to S3 bucket. In the S3 bucket, there will be a destination_folder. In my case, it is destination_folder. But ensure that when you are going to execute these commands in your AWS account, it will be different name. It cannot be destination folder. So ensure that you change the name destination folder. Yeah, if you see here, there is no any files. What I'm telling is that the destination folder name that I'm giving it here has to be different. It has to be based on whatever bucket name that you are providing in your AWS account. Please ensure that. With this, we have come to the end of this particular video. Next, we will be looking at how to work with Athena and start querying the tables that we have written in this video. We will have a holistic picture after we query and understand the entire process of loading the file and writing the tables to Glue Catalog, and next by querying it using Athena. Till then, see you data leaders. Have a great time.